Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Speak On It with your boy R.W. Coolins. This is episode 23. We got an interview today with Michelle Jones Austin of the Heal and Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit Incorporated. And we're going to get into that as soon as we get past it. But let's go ahead and get this started. Give me them horns. Good morning, Maurice Wigfall. Thanks for the support, my brother. Good morning, Michelle Long. Good morning, Michelle Long. I appreciate your support. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Speak On It. I am your boy, R.W. Coolins. First and foremost, giving out to the guy who allows me to come at you in this manner on a weekly basis. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing out there? Got a good show for you. We got a deep conversation we're going to have today with my guest. But we're going to go ahead and get these formalities out the way. Raymond Hunter, good morning, Raymond Hunter. We're going to get these formalities out the way. Follow me, rwcoolins.com. That's the website. You can go there, get all the information you want, all the information you need. That's where you can go also find the merchandise. You can follow the links there for YouTube, also for Facebook, and Spreaker.com if you just want to hear the audio. All that information is at the website. Go there, peruse around a little bit, and then we'll get into that. All right. Call-in number. Oh, also, we're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube this morning, like we always do. No matter what the situation is, let your voice be heard. You can always also leave a comment on either YouTube or Facebook where you're following, and the comments will come into me, and then I'll post them on the screen if it's something we need to talk about, or if you got a question for my guest this morning. That's how we're going to do it. Call-in number 844-904-2665. That's 844-904-2665. I haven't opened up the phone lines yet, but once we get into the conversation with my guest today, then we'll go ahead and open it up, because I don't want it to keep running and then we run out of time for no activity. It's just some way the phone works, but I'll let you know when the phone lines are open so we can start taking some phone calls if that's what you want to do. If you're listening through a different person's link, a different someone who shared it, and you want to make a comment, you won't be able to put your comment through their link. You have to go to the R.W. Coolins on Facebook page or through YouTube, and then your comment will show up, and then I can put it in, just to let people know that's how it works. If you're looking through a watch party, anything like that, it's not going to show up unless you come through the R.W. Coolins on Facebook or through YouTube. So just for anybody out there who wants to make a comment, but also, like I said, phone call-in number 844-904-2665. Real quick, I think we got a president, y'all. We got a president. They still doing some things, some shady stuff, but President-elect Joe Biden, I think it's official. We just need to be prepared to move forward. Don't know what's going to go on with the White House. I'm not going to get too far into that today, but congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris. moving on to new things, moving on to another venture for the next 4 years with a new president, new vice president. We'll see where that goes, and we'll continue to. Also, COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19. It's out there, y'all, and it's serious. And a lot of people thought it was going away, but it's not. It's getting even more potent as far as I'm concerned, because you see it everywhere, and it's something that we need to be paying attention to, and it's not going away. So anybody who tells you that it's a hoax or anything like that, hey, we've been hearing it for a while now, but at the end of the day, take it seriously, wear your mask, protect yourself, do what you need to do to take care of you and yours. And at the same time, wear the mask and do those things that are precautions to make sure you're taking care of those around you as well. Good morning, my sister. Good morning, my sister, April Whedon. Good morning. Thanks for the support. So here we go, y'all. Now, my guest, Miss Lady Michelle. Let me back up. Michelle Jones Austin is the name, aka Lady Michelle. She's founder and CEO of the Heal and Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit Incorporated. That's her foundation. She just celebrated a 5-year anniversary in October, and we're going to get into that going forward. Good morning, my brother. Appreciate the support. Terrence Collins, appreciate the support, my brother. Love you, bro. And so we're going to get into that. But without further ado, let me bring her in, because I know y'all want to know who I'm talking about. Miss Lady Michelle. Let me unmute you. Let me unmute your mic. Oh, you got to unmute your mic, young lady. I can't hear you. What's going on here? Wait a minute. Wait. Something's wrong with your mic. I can't hear you now. Click your microphone again. I don't know what. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Okay, we got some technical difficulty going on, but we're gonna work through this. We're gonna work through this. Oh, your mic isn't connected, it says. We're gonna work through this, but while she's working that, we're gonna go ahead and as I was saying, we'll work through these. Technical difficulties is always something that we deal with. Let's see some comments up here. Josh Boy, good morning, bro. Good morning. Appreciate the support. Thanks, bro. So as we get Lady Michelle with her technical difficulties that she's experienced right there with her microphone. Your mic's muted, dear.
Can you hear me?
There we go. Melvin Jackson, good morning. Now, as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen,
we had a whole practice about this. What happened?
Here's the thing. No matter how you practice, it's always different when it comes to game time. Lady Michelle, welcome.
I feel like my camera. Hi, everybody.
Let's give her a round of applause for what she does, y'all. Let's give her a round of applause. Take a deep breath. Okay. Take a deep breath.
Stronger than yesterday. Okay, that's why I have my T-shirt today.
That's right.
All right. So here we go.
All right. So, Lady Michelle, aka Michelle Jones Austin, aka the woman that wears many hats, aka a woman trying to take care of other women that are going through some trials and tribulations. So let's talk about first Heal and Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit Incorporated.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about it. Oh, boy.
Let the listeners, because I already know, but let the listeners know what your foundation is all about.
So my foundation is for women. Right now, we know that everybody deals with abuse, but right now we really cater more to the women, but we have partnered with some different organizations that we can help men as well. But my organization is geared towards women who are survivors of domestic violence and even the victims. We don't like to say victims. We like to say a survivor, because you know what? You're a survivor. The The very first day that you went through this and you made it through, you are a survivor. And so we help you to change your mindset. We help you to recognize abuse. Everybody doesn't recognize what abuse is. And we help you to take the steps to get to a better life, a more healthy life, um, a life away from that trauma. Um, we have some awesome things. We have our Courageous Conversations group that we meet once a month to support you along the way. We hold your hand through it. We walk you through those steps because a lot of places will help you get out, but then it's like, okay, what do I do now? I'm out. What now? So we take those extra steps to do that because our whole goal is to take you from victim to survivor to thriver. And so we want you to know that there's life after abuse. And so whatever it takes to go through those things, we do it. Help you with going to court, help you once you get out. Maybe you need help with, groceries or just some things that you might need us to do. We do that. We're here to listen. That's something that a lot of people, when they're going through domestic abuse, people judge them. People victim blame, victim shame, and things like that. And so we're here. We're here to listen. So, who is Lady Michelle and what is Heal and Rebuild? That's what we are. We offer that listening ear.
All right.
That's probably one of my biggest things that people have said to me is, hey, you get me, you listen, you help, you don't judge me. We keep a safe space for you.
So let me ask you a question because I'm pretty sure what people don't know. So you're based out of where?
We're based out of Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
but we help people all over. I've actually moved some of my clients from the Philadelphia area. I've moved them to other places. We will help you, and we make connections in different states so that we can help you through that process. Because sometimes people have to get away to safety.
Right. So say they're not in Philadelphia and they need the help. And I know there's phone numbers, 800 numbers and different things like that for anyone needing that help. But and I don't want to get into all the particulars because if it's somebody who was the abuser, you don't want them to know all the steps that go on. I just don't want to put that out there, But
right.
I guess the question would be if I'm in the situation and there's something going on, I need to get away. There's a national 800 number and you have an 800 number as well, right?
Right. So I'm going to give you our
That's what I'm saying.
First.
Right. That's right. Put you first.
Before it's all over, before this program is all over, we'll make sure you have the national as well because sometimes they can offer things that we can't offer because they're a much larger entity. But our number is 1-800-815-9220, and you will always get someone when you call that number. We will pray with you. We will help you. Get to what you need. Because again, some people are not quite ready to leave, but they need to talk to someone. They need someone to listen to them. They need a little guidance. So we do that at my organization because what we teach also is if you are going to stay, we teach you how to be safe. Okay. The first thing people think of when somebody, is going through domestic violence is leave. You gotta leave. You gotta get out of there. Everybody can't leave. But we will teach you how to be safe. We will teach you some safety plan, and we will teach you some things for your children to be safe as well until you make that decision to move. And then that's when we are here to help you with that as well.
So let me ask a question, and I'm pretty sure other listeners are out there asking. So I'm going to put it out there on the table for you. You have this organization. It's to help women who are going through these challenges. I want to call it that way because I don't want to call them victims.
Yeah, I like that.
So when with these women going through these challenges and you have this organization, what made you start the organization and why?
That's a good question.
Now I know it's probably deep, and you give us what you want to give us, but I know it's But go ahead, I'm gonna let you go.
Listen, I'm very transparent in what I do. First of all, somebody who's going through this, they don't want anybody phony. They don't want anybody fake. They want somebody that can really talk to them and know what they've been through. So I'm very transparent. I went through abuse. I am a thriver. I don't even use the word survivor in my organization. We use the word thriver. And so I have overcame the tragedies of domestic violence. My abuse started as a child. And if you get my book, you'll find out some of the things. Um, but
Wait. Stop right there. Give them the name of the book just so they have it. I'm not gonna let you gloss over that. Go ahead and give them the name of the book.
Pieces of me. So pieces of me. I talk a little bit about some of the things that I went through as throughout my abuse, and how it affected me. It affected me a lot. It caused me to make bad decisions. Um, and my abuse, actually, I always tell people, it started in the womb. And we have to be careful. We have to be careful about these generational curses and just things that we take throughout our lives. And then we, have children. And I always tell people, they say hurt people hurt people. Well, it's hurt and unhealed people who hurt people. And so if you never got healed from domestic abuse, then you start to have children, and all kinds of things can go on. And that's what happened with me. I later found out, with doing the research to do my book, that both of my parents dealt with domestic abuse in their childhood. And so, if they never learned how to love themselves, they never learned their self-worth, how could they love someone else? And how could they raise this baby up to, be this loving, kind person that I am? Lots of therapy. But I started it because I went through it myself, and I knew that um, I wasn't able to get that help that I needed when I was going through it, and I was kind of going through it blindly. And thank God that I was being guided by God all along, because He wanted me to do this. So I had to go through that process. But it was hard. People were judging me. I didn't know where to go. Listen, you're not ever going to be looking at the TV and see a commercial that talks to you about domestic abuse and where to go for it, right? So back then we didn't really have the internet. I think it was just starting. um we didn't have social media, we didn't have the cell phones, camera phones, all that other stuff. So I didn't know where to go. I don't ever want somebody to go through what I went through. So I wanted to start this organization. I wanted to give back. I wanted to help people to not have to go through that. So
So
yeah.
let me ask this. So in the 5 years, because you just congratulations on the 5 year anniversary as well.
Thank you.
So in the 5 years, and I know numbers, when you talk about a situation like this, numbers don't really, it's not what you're looking at.
Mhm.
However, just to give people an understanding of what your organization is, what it's about, in those 5 years, how many women have you helped and are still helping to get past their situation?
We've helped a lot of women. I'm going to say probably over the 5 years, we probably helped about, I'm going to say about 50 women, and we are a small organization, but I'm going to say about
Mhm.
50 women. But I want to say, in those, we don't really look at the numbers. We look at what we did,
Right.
how we've never lost anybody. we we again, like I said, we've helped them move from state to state, and for
Mhm.
safety. We've helped them. I had one young lady, she sent me back a text after everything was over, and she said to me, "Thank you so much for talking me out of going back to the home she was living with her boyfriend." So thank you
Mhm.
so much for talking me out of it. She said, "Had I gone back, my parents would have been preparing for my funeral. I
Wow.
surely know he would have killed me that night." So it's things like that makes it all worthwhile. Um, I've had people who we've had to help them. Again, they got out, but then it's still hard once you get out. Like that next couple of years is still hard. So we've had people where we've helped them, you know, again, with their groceries, with their some things they may need for their children, things like. So it's really in the 5 years. The courageous conversations, I think, was our biggest thing in the 5 years, and that support group because people needed that support.
Mm.
And I'll go into kind of how I started that. I started courageous conversations in a point of my life when I was at my worst. I was at my worst. My 5-year-old grandson had passed away, and I was just not feeling anything or anybody. And I had all these mothers, aunts, grandmothers reaching out to me. They're like, "We need help. We don't know how to get help for our daughter and loved one." Because when you call into the hotline wants to talk to the person, right? They're not going to talk to you. But you had these people who were feeling like they had, um, they'd done something wrong. They felt like they had let their daughters down and granddaughters down because they were like, well, I raised her up. How did she get into this domestic violence situation? Well, they needed the support. And so that's how Courageous Conversation really started. And in that, mothers and daughters were coming together and they were getting healed and they were talking it out, and they were talking about things that they had never brought up before with them. And we talked about the baggage that we carry from generation to generation, and we talked about forgiveness and we talked about love. So that was probably the biggest thing that we did in the 5 years. So that helped countless amounts of women.
So you talked about the courageous conversations, but let me go back for a minute because I
Okay.
think this was before courageous conversations and Heal and Rebuild Unbreakable Spirit Incorporated. Silent No More, your radio show.
Yes.
That's when you initially started, right?
Well, I initially started with Heal and Rebuild, but we weren't a 501(c)(3) yet at that
Okay.
point. But
Okay.
that's what I initially started with. And then the book came next.
Okay.
And then the radio show. The book and the radio show kind of was like together.
Together.
I was
Okay.
working on both of them at the same time.
Okay.
And then Courageous Conversation. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, and the reason I brought up the radio show, for those that don't know, me and Lady Michelle know each other through the OT Radio Network, where we were both having our shows at the time. So I didn't want her to skim past the fact that she had a radio show because we're trying to get her back on, but we'll talk about that at another time. But I want to transition real quick
Yeah.
into this. Ladies and gentlemen, Lady Michelle has a magazine. See that smile? You see all them teeth? She's showing off. She ain't showing 32. She's showing 64 this morning. But this is the magazine. This is her love child at this time.
Yeah.
I just received mine in the mail yesterday, and it's very, very good information in the magazine. So what I want you to do is let the people know what was the motivation behind the magazine.
Ooh. Okay.
And where they can find it.
So first of all, I almost scrapped that thing. I almost was like, I'm done with this. I'm not doing this. It was, it was a lot of work. But I knew that was the enemy trying not to allow it to come forward because of the blessings that the people would, be blessed when they read it. So we wanted to do this. Everybody had been asking me, write a book, write another book. And I was like, oh, I don't really feel that though. Like, I'm not, something is just not there. I'm getting on this writer's block. I can't do it. Right. So one day my mentor was doing a branding package for me. And she asked me, she said, well, okay, how do you like this? She asked about the magazine cover. She's like, how do you like this? And I said, that's it. That's it. That's what I'm supposed to be doing next is the magazine, not another book. And so that's how I was going to be able to, get the information out to the people that I wanted them to know, empower, inspire. I felt that thing right, like right in my gut. And so we began to start working on that. And I reached out to some overcomers, because remember, we don't say survivor here at Heal and Rebuild. I didn't title it Thrivers, but I titled it Overcomers because the stories, when you read the stories of these women, whew, they have been through some stuff. They have been through some stuff and they came out. I got some women in there with their PhDs and they started going to work where their abuser wouldn't allow them to work before. I got some people who were homeless and now they are graduating with their masters. I have some people with, oh my goodness, authors. Uh, they started their own organization. So it was just about showing that there is life after abuse. And that was the message that I wanted to get out.
Yeah, because I got, like I said, I received the magazine yesterday. We didn't think it was going to be here in time, but I got
We
it.
did not. That's God.
Hey, it's amazing. The Postal Service got your magazine here quicker than they got them ballots to the people that need to get, but that's another conversation.
Okay,
for
that's
another day.
another.
So
Okay.
in the magazine, I noticed that, and you just touched on it, about there's 15 testimonies in there.
Yeah.
And they come from all walks of life.
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
said, college educated and the like. With that, and I read it, and one thing that jumped out at me, you kind of just touched on it, you don't identify them as being abused, but you identify them as overcomers.
Hmm.
Now, I think you touched on it, but is the wording, because we always say words matter.
Yes.
So when you put those words in there for someone that's going through this,
Hmm.
does it really truly make that much of an impact on their psyche when you call them overcomers and thrivers compared to
Hmm.
just abused, physically, mentally, however? How much of an
Yeah.
impact does that truly make?
Oh, it's a world of a difference. And first of all, um, the words do matter. If we're just calling you a victim or the abused, that's all you're going to be. That's all you're going to think you are. But when we say to you, you are a thriver, you are an overcomer, this thing, it happened to you, but it is not you. It doesn't define you. You can make it and you will make it. And guess what? Healing Revealed is going to be right here, wait, helping you to make it. We're going to be right here the whole time. And so the only way you don't get help from Healing Revealed is if you don't want the help. But we are here to make sure that you understand you are a thriver. Words matter. Remember, these ladies who have been in these situations, that's all they heard was bad words. They always hear they're no good. They hear that they're nothing. They hear that they cannot do anything. They hear that, the oppressed, the abuser, he's telling them, he or she, because we know that it's women too.
I
Women
was
are
going to touch on
abusers
that, but
too.
we're going to get to that in a few.
I'm a living witness of that. Women are abusers too. But those words hurt. They do hurt. And so we want to uplift. We want to, keep telling you, hey girl, we affirm you. We're gonna talk about affirmations, but we affirm you
Yeah.
here. And that's important. That was important to me. I'm a person who needs affirmations. And so because it's important to me, I want to make sure that it happens for you.
The also phone lines are open, 844-904-2665. I got that up and running now. So anybody wants to
Whew.
call in, make a comment, ask a question, feel free, 844-904-2665. Now, also in the magazine, I see you had the where'd I go? I just lost myself. Oh, types of abuse. Types of abuse.
Yes.
And
Types
they
of
are physical, emotional, verbal, mental, economic, and sexual.
yes. All
Now,
right.
when you talk about these different variations of abuse,
Mm-hmm.
and as I was reading through, because you hear different people talk about, and the one thing they always concentrate on in most cases is the sexual abuse or the physical abuse.
Right.
But the one that jumped out at me was the economic abuse.
Woo.
As far as
Uh-huh.
preventing the person from having the economics that they need, the money and withholding the money and things
Yeah.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
In those situations, because I'm pretty sure that if someone's dealing with that type of abuse, economic abuse, just for one that I want to ask about, when you're trying, and you mentioned before that you're trying to get them to not just leave, but prepare themselves to leave. And
Hmm.
if that economic part is a major factor in the abuse, along with the physical, the emotional, and everything like that, how can you go about, or how does a person go about getting themselves economically able to make that move when they need to make that move?
So that's a hard one, and it really depends on your situation because some women try to hide money, but
Mhm.
sometimes he finds it. Um, you have to go with your situation because you can start giving. Let's say you started giving me a couple of dollars to hold for you. Listen, Michelle. I'm gonna be making this move. I need you to, hold
Mhm.
this for me. You could do something like that. What we do is we connect with different financial people who can help them once they come out. So we had a gentleman, and we're going to get his story, we're going to get him in the next magazine, but he talks about, like, financial things, insurance, how to budget your money, how to do all those kind of things, because what happens is once she does get out, she may not know how to do all those things because the abuser was doing it. The abuser was taking all of the money and handling all of the bills. They had control over everything, as we know that that's about power and control, right? So
Mhm.
she may not even know how to budget. She may not know how to have a bank account of her own because in that economic abuse, they had a joint account, but she didn't have access to the account. She had to get money whenever he gave her money. And so we partner with different people in different who can help them with that, who can help them in the financial part of it, who can help them learn how to rebuild the finance part of their life and know that they can handle it. Some people have never been taught how to even open a checking account. They don't know how to have one. They don't, they've only known about check cashing places. I don't even know, are they still around, check cashing places? I don't know.
I don't
But
know.
so um yeah, so we teach stuff like that. So um you know it's all about in it's all about what your situation is, and that's why we have to meet with you, we have to assess you, we have to talk to you, because I don't like to give a broad thing and then it doesn't work for your household or it doesn't work
Right.
for your situation, and then you're like, well, Lady Michelle, you said this, so let's talk to the people.
So, and I'm gonna bring this up because what jumped out at me when I seen the economic part in there was the fact when you think about economic, I've heard people in my travels, people I've come in contact with, and either the man or the woman in the relationship will say something to the effect of, "I give her an allowance," or "I receive an allowance." And the reason it jumped out at me with the economic is because in that aspect of an allowance per se,
Hmm.
when you hear that now after reading about the economic,
Hmm.
is it something in the economic part that is something that is maybe not recognized or not realized by the person who is giving the allowance and the person receiving the per se allowance, that it's not a form of abuse, it's just something that they do when in the big scope of things, it's a control mechanism,
That's it. You just
you know?
answered it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'm
It's all
smarter than the
about
average man.
control. It's all about control. Listen,
Mhm,
and no one likes to say the word abuse. It's such a taboo topic. You
mhm,
start telling people about abuse, let me tell you, I was talking to someone and they were talking about if they have an alcoholic in their family, right? So
mhm.
we had the conversation. They the family will deal with the alcoholic faster and not more non-judging than they will with the person who's in a domestic violence abuse situation in their family. They don't dog her. She's stupid. I told her to leave him. I don't know why she's still there. But the alcoholic, we know Uncle Tim. We know he get drunk at every function. We know but we don't judge him. Oh, that's just Uncle
That's
Tim.
just
Just
who
let him stay
he is.
over there. Yeah, that's how he do. So nobody really wants to talk about abuse. So when people are in a financial abuse situation, they're like, financial abuse? I'm not in there. Listen, he's just better with the money. So I
Mhm.
just let him do it. We have the joint checking account. I don't have to worry about that. My man don't want me to work. I'm good. He takes care of me. He is controlling you. Why are you not working? Why?
And I get that, but my I guess my question is in that and not and like you just said, but if there's someone in that type of relationship that they have this agreement where she doesn't work and he
Mhm.
takes care of everything because she's taking care of home and everything. From what I'm getting from what you're telling me, there's a very thin line between that of being something that is agreed upon and it's worked upon and it's something that we both agree on and the other side of being totally in control of every move, everything you do, and those type things. And I would ask, would that be more of a emotional psychological aspect more than the economic,
Well,
or is
no,
it twofold?
emotional abuse is one thing, and financial abuse, economic abuse is another. They can
That's what I mean,
cross.
they
Yeah,
merge in
they
okay.
can. They
Okay.
can. And again, it's a case by case because not everybody
Mhm.
is abusing you. There may be some other things that you need to look into to see about the situation. Did you ask him, can you get a job? You know what, baby? I think I want to contribute. I want to go get a job. What kind of response are you getting? What happens? What changes? What dynamics change in your relationship? So you need to like check out everything. I'm not going to say right off the bat that this person is abusing you financially or economically, but you do. Again, that's why when people come to us, we talk to them. We find
Mhm.
out what's going on. Even when I have my workshops and things like that, I put information out there, and then I have people who are sitting there getting those aha moments like, wait a minute, I never looked at it like that.
Sounds like me. That sounds like me. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're like, hold on, I didn't, because they didn't know. Nobody's
Mhm.
talking about this, nobody's teaching this, no one is saying, hey ladies, let me tell you something. This is how it is, and this is how it should be, and this is how it should not be. The do's and don'ts, right? The red flags, the signals, all of those things. Nobody teaches that. Nobody's talking about it. So, um,
S-
yeah.
s-
But if you're on a job and he's doing things to get you fired. He's doing things. Listen, you got to call me 24/7. You got to call me all day long. And knowing that you work in a call center, you can't get on the phone. He's calling you. And then, you know what I mean? Like stuff
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
We need to check that out.
Yeah.
So,
The the other aspect of that, and we're going to transition here in a minute, but the other aspect of that, I guess, is when you talked about a few minutes ago, and this just hit me about the alcoholic, the drunk uncle, and the one being abused. Well, I'm sorry, the one that needs to overcome her situation. Let's put it that way. So, so when you look at that and you talk about that, is it one of those things that you know our psyche gets us to the point that certain things are acceptable and certain things are get over it and move on, and that type of thing when you talk about the abuse situations?
um, yeah, that's bad. Isn't that bad when you say it like that? Doesn't that sound like, ugh, what are we doing in our families?
Right.
What are we
Right.
doing? Are we supporting? We're not supporting the young lady. I was speaking with someone last night who I've known all my life, right? And we talked about my book and how when it came out, she said, I've been hanging out with you all your life, and I did not know you were going through those things until you wrote your book, right? She said, "Why didn't you say anything?" I said, "Listen, I was afraid of my ex-husband. When I left him, I was terrified and I had to leave my job. I changed jobs. I changed my daughter's school. I was hiding for 4 years in plain sight. I still lived in the city of Philadelphia, but I was terrified every day, right?" So she said, "Well, why didn't you say anything?" And I said, "Because I listened to all of you when we would be hanging out and you guys were judging anybody who was
Mhm.
going through that. I wasn't going to say anything.
Wow.
All I was doing was just sitting in the room listening to y'all. And y'all didn't even know that I was who you were talking about.
Mm.
We got to be careful. You don't know who's going through it because we don't wear a sign. Yeah, I have stronger than yesterday on today, but I don't wear, back then I wasn't going to wear, I'm being abused.
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
being beaten. I'm being cursed out every day. I wasn't gonna wear that,
Right.
right? So we got to be careful. I tell people, be careful with your words. You don't know who's in that room. You don't know when you're talking about people were talking about R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and all that, and you don't know who's in the room who's been sexually assaulted.
Mm.
And now you're talking about these people like they are good, and the ones who are coming up forward are the bad person. They were victim blaming. And
Yeah.
women and young girls were sitting in the room hearing their mother's victim blame, right? I'm not even tell you that my uncle, who sits at the Thanksgiving dinner table every year, is molesting me. Why would I tell you that? You're not going to believe me. You're going to dog me out, right? We got
Because
to
he is
change.
because he is who he is. He is who he is. And that's where
Girl, your uncle get all the women he want. What he want with you
what do you want
for?
with you?
He don't want you. You 15 years old. What he girl? Stop lying on your uncle.
Hmm.
He's been molesting me since I was 8. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
But we have to be careful. It's the do's and the don'ts. We have to listen, and don't listen to give an answer, but listen, hear what they're saying, digest it, and then let them know I'm here for you. Let them know it's not your fault. You didn't do anything to deserve
Mm.
that. So I
Yeah.
probably went all over. Did I even answer
Oh
your
no, you
question?
good, you good, you good. That's what we do here on the Speak on the Show. We just speak on it. Let's just be real. We don't whatever we go to. But right now we're gonna transition to trauma bonding.
Oh,
Trauma
trauma
bonding.
bonding.
Now, when I was reading this, um, the things that jumped out at me, and I mentioned it to you earlier, was when you talk about trauma bonding, it the basics of it is codependency issues towards the narcissist.
Oh,
And we'll get into narcissists next. But
right.
trauma bonding, when you talk about trauma bonding, what I mean, is that like you're in such trauma that you tend to gravitate and stay because you become dependent on that person?
Right. So can you still see me? I just want to make
Oh
sure you
yeah,
can still
I'm
see me. Okay.
looking straight at you.
All right. So,
You're good.
um, trauma bonding. So, listen, what's happening here is, um, sometimes, and most times, I should say, it's when you grew up in a home, right, and you have this trauma that's been going on, this abuse that's been going on, and so you're looking um at relationships a different way. You're the bonding that you're building for relationships is so tainted, and it's so blurry because you think you've been trying to uh, prove to your parents that you could be good, and when they're abusive, and that you want their love. You're trying to do whatever you have to do to get their love, right? And so you grow up, and that's the way you're looking for love when you're in a mate. And so you're looking, what kind of trauma do you have? What kind of trauma do I have? And we think that we get along, and that's what we have together, right? But we're looking at it the wrong way. It's such a thin, now that's a really thin line. We're looking at that, and that narcissists, they love that kind of stuff, right? They love that. They looking at it like, okay, I'm gonna make you think that I'm I have the same things that you have. I'm into the same stuff that you into. Yeah, when I was younger, this happened to me, and you're like, oh, he needs me, right? You start to overlook his narcissistic ways. You start to overlook the abuse because nobody understands him like me because I've been through what he's been through, and I can I can understand. So we're like licking each other's wounds, right? But that that abuser has a plan. They have a plan. They're all along. You're prey to them, and they've all along tried to get you. And that's why it's so hard to leave. No one understands, right? They say, why won't she leave? But the bonding part is so hard to leave. It's so hard to leave them because um, the more that it continues, uh, those boundaries get so blurred, and you don't know
Mm,
how to set those boundaries because you think that I'm supposed to stay with this person. I'm supposed to. Your judgment is so off. You're like, he loves me, and he and I and everybody else left him. His mother abandoned him when he was younger, so I have to be here for him. So it just gets really crazy, the
is that
trauma.
kind of like the abuser uh f- turning the roles to him or her being the victim? Is
Absolutely.
that what that is?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Mm,
Um, and this is what I tell people when they have you have children, right? You're in an
mhm,
abusive situation, you have children. I know it's not easy to leave when you have children, but we have to learn how to make these decisions to help our children because it's going to hurt them in the long run. When they're as they grow up, it's really going to hurt them. When they're in those unsafe homes, when they're in those homes that, again, like I said, the parents could be abusive, or whomever's in the house that their caregiver is, and so um, when you're growing up, that developmental stage that you're going through, you start to um, look at love. You're getting the wrong idea of what love is. um, you may have a parent who buys you everything, right? They
mhm,
beat you up, they curse you out, but they buy you everything, right? So now you meet someone who is a great provider, they buy you everything, whatever you need, and so they curse you out too, and they beat you up a little bit, but you're okay with that because that's
good.
how I grew up. That's how it's
Mm,
supposed to be, right? So parents, we got to think of this when we're in a situation like that. And if you are a parent who's abusing your children, you contact me. We're gonna get some parenting skills going on. Um,
yeah,
I'm totally against corporate beating of the children. I know everybody doesn't believe that, but that's okay.
yeah.
So you talk to me. I got something to say to you about that. But um, um, how many children have been beaten with extension cords, right? When they were younger.
Mm,
They say, yeah, but my parents, I look at me, look how I turned out. I'm a good person, right? I'm good. No. And then your child grows up thinking that they're supposed to get beaten because you beating them, right?
mm.
Mm-mm. Can't do that. Can't do it.
When you just said that about the extension cord, what comes to my mind, and everybody will remember this from back in the day, was Good Times when Penny was being burned with the iron and things like that. And as kids, we're watching this and not understanding the full context of what they were showing us because, there were people that we knew in our circles that were
Hmm.
being beat with extension cords and whatever was
Hmm.
close by.
Hmm.
And we never looked at it as any type of abuse. We looked at it as discipline. Discipline. At that time, that was the mindset. So
Mm.
being that mindset transformation, you like that, didn't you? You like that.
I
So
like the way you did that.
with mindset transformation,
Right.
accepting and embracing the need to adapt quickly to changes and opportunities. But here's my question about the mindset transformation. If you're so used to and so conditioned to that, how do you change the mindset? How do you transform the mindset from this is something I'm used to the mindset of I'm worthy of
Oh,
more than this?
wow. First of all, you have to get yourselves around positive people. You
Mhm.
cannot. So let me start off with a quote that I like. I love quotes. I'll start off with a quote. You're transforming old patterns of your mind and letting go of thoughts you don't need to have around any longer.
Wow.
You have to. You got to get around positive people. You need to get around people um, who they will push you into greatness. They won't sit around and just tell you um to tell you things that are bad for you, right? Like what am I let me see. I want to get an example. So if you continue to drink, right, because you were drinking because you were trying to cope with what was going on with
Mhm.
the abuse, right? No, you need somebody around you that's going to help you, push you to that. Like, listen, sis, we can do better than this. We can let's go out. Let's have a night on the town where we will go to a show or something and dinner, something different than you just going home with a bottle and just sitting there and sulking all night. Somebody who can help you. Maybe you might need to do more self-care things, right? So self-care is the greatest thing, and it's a way more than bubble baths. We think of, just lighting some candles. You say, I have my candles lit. But we think of just lighting your candle and just, going to get a massage. But self-care is way more than that. Self-care is changing your mind. Self-care is setting your boundaries. That helps to change your mindset. Saying no and being okay with your no. We are not okay with our no. People make us feel like, why? Why did you tell me no? What you mean you can't do this? But you're home today. Why can't you watch my kids? Well, but I'm home today. It's my day. It's my rest day. It's my day that I want to just pick up a book and just um, listen to some music today, right?
Mhm.
But we're not okay with that. Transforming your mind. It's doing things that are good for you. It's getting out of that stinking thinking that that abuser told you. They told you you weren't nothing. So it is going back to school. They told you were stupid, right? So you go back to school if that's something that you always wanted to do. They told you that you couldn't start that business. So you do it. It's transforming your mindset because listen, I can actually move you. My organization is capable of moving you to another place, right? But if I don't get you to transform your mindset and learn your worth, your self worth, right? Who you are, you'll just move him where I moved you to, right? Or you'll just call him up and you'll just tell him where you are. And, you'll start that process all over again.
Mm.
But if I can get into your mindset that you are a beautiful person, that you are an awesome woman, that you are, you're smart, you're amazing, you're pretty, get you to be able to look in the mirror and look at yourself. A lot of people who are going through abuse, they can't look at themselves in the mirror.
Mm.
If I can get you to change your mindset and know, you know what? Okay, this didn't go as well as I wanted it to go, but I'm going to celebrate the small things, the small victories, right? It's just all about changing the way you talk, changing the way you think, changing the way you go about your day, right?
Mm. And that's where those affirmations come in.
Affirmations.
Affirmation, emotional support or encouragement. And,
Yeah.
and when when I was looking at these that we talked about, it's amazing to me where we and I say we is broad, but I say we don't really accept affirmation as much as we should
Mhm.
to supplant ourselves in understanding who we are.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Yeah.
you mentioned that yesterday because I know when we talked yesterday, one of the biggest things you talked about was affirmation is one of your big things is you
Yeah.
want to affirm to that person, like I mentioned before, that they're worthy
Yeah.
of everything
Everything.
that they're capable of doing without the abuse and the things
Yeah.
that they've gone through and the trauma. So talk about your affirmation aspect of how hard is it to get people to that point? I'll ask that question.
Well, it's very hard. I am for one. I had to through therapy work out that and unpack that baggage, and to realize that affirmations is my love language,
Mm,
and I didn't get it. So imagine me growing up. That's my love language, and I'm not getting affirmed every day.
mm,
Oh, how traumatic. It was so much trauma. And so you have so many people out there who just need that. They need that affirming word. You are beautiful. You did a great job. That was a great job. Oh my God. Like, wow. You created that. You did that. They just need to hear that. Oh, you know, um, even on work. when you're at work, when you're at church, when you're in your community, just start to affirm people. Tell them something nice about themselves and something nice that they did. And then we got to learn how to affirm ourselves, right? Because you're not going to hear it from everybody. So you get up in the morning, Lady Michelle, you are beautiful. Lady Michelle, this is going to be a great day. Lady Michelle, oh, girl, you did that thing. Look at you. You know, even if the you got a pimple on your head that day, you know what? Whew, okay, girl, we gonna get through that pimple right there, right?
Mhm.
That's just a little beauty mark. But we have to learn how to affirm ourselves. We have to learn how to, and I help and I teach the women that, and knowing your worth, knowing who you are. I know that I'm a good person. I didn't know that back then. I didn't understand that if you lose a relationship with me, whether it's a friendship or intimate or whatever kind of relationship it is, you have lost a good thing. I am integral. I am a good person. I am passionate, a compassionate person. I am an empathetic person. I'm a good listener. I'm loyal. I have your back. So I have to tell myself these are good things about me. If you lose that, then you have lost out. See, I didn't know that back then. I thought
Mm.
if I lose them, I've lost something. And so I would do whatever I needed to do. And this is what women who are in abusive situations, we do whatever we need to do to keep that person, not realizing that they are not for us. They don't
Mm.
love you. Love does not hurt. Love is not supposed to hurt. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care what you see on the uh what's those shows, those reality TV shows. I don't care what you're saying. Love
Right.
does not hurt. And if you are being hurt, that person does not love you.
Wow. You said a mouthful right there. You know, and while you were talking about the affirmation, what one thing jumped out at me is, because I'm a true proponent of self-love. You
Yeah.
got to love yourself before you can love anybody else.
Yeah.
But I think one of the problems we have is that we let those lines cross of affirmation and conceited confidence, where people misconstrue you affirming who you are to yourself by you being arrogant or conceited and things like that. And I would put it out there to folks to say, loving yourself first doesn't mean you're conceited, doesn't mean that you're the only one that you ever
Mm-mm.
think about. What it means is you love yourself enough to know what you're worthy of.
Mhm.
And once you know what you're worthy of, you won't allow other folks to tell you that you're unworthy, because that's how
Yes.
they feel about you when you know
Yes.
exactly how you feel about yourself. And
Yes.
that's something that jumped out at me. And because the affirmation, I guess it's the wording. And like we said
Yeah.
before, words matter.
Yeah.
When people say they love themselves, he's conceited, he's stuck on himself. No, I'm affirming the fact that I'm worthy
Yeah.
of being who I am and being loved by me as well as those around me. So I just wanted to put it because it was
Yes.
something that just jumped out that really
Absolutely.
stuck with what you were saying. So
Absolutely. You love yourself. Yeah.
you have to. You have to. You can't expect anybody else to love you if you don't love yourself first.
Yeah.
Mind, body, and soul. This is a segment that I do every week where I take a quote, phrase, or anything like that, and I just elaborate on it and give people something to think about. Because if the mind is right, the body is right, and the soul is right, and they all on one accord, you ain't got to get ready. You're already ready. So the mind, body, and soul today, I'm going to defer to you. And the mind, body, and soul phrase, quote that I'm going to use today is one of yours. And I want you to elaborate on this once I read.
Okay.
No longer a victim, more than a survivor, I am a thriver. No longer a victim, more than a survivor, I am a thriver. Talk to me about that.
That's it. We've been talking about it all the whole time. I'm no longer a victim. I don't have that victim mentality anymore. And I don't want you to have that victim mentality anymore. All the people who are listening to me, you're done with that. That is not you. That's those people who have abused you, they have the problems. Something is wrong with them. Nothing is wrong with you. You did nothing to deserve that. So now you move on to survivor, right? But you're more than a survivor. Right? You're not looking around your shoulders every day trying to figure out what's going on, who's going to do something to me. No, you are more than that. I have survived this thing. I'm stronger than yesterday. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt, but stronger than yesterday. That's who I am. That's who I want you to be. You're more than a survivor. I am a thriver. There's life after abuse. I can do this. I am a great person. I am amazing. And I can do this. I can move forward in life. I can do anything that I set my mind to, right? I can do those things because God has me. He loves me. And I'm going to make it through this stuff, right? And so I am a thriver. I'm doing amazing things that I never thought I could do before, right? Because I changed my mindset. I say I can do it. I can make it happen. And so that's who you are. That's who Lady Michelle is, and that's who you are. More than a survivor. We're not just survivors. Some people say I'm a survivor of domestic violence. No, 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 no. You overcame that. You took your tragedy and you triumphed over it, and now you are a thriver, right? And that's my answer.
Whew. Let me tell you something. That's probably the best mind, body, and soul I've had since I started this show, because and you can feel it. You're passionate about it, and
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, and when I thought about the mind, body, and soul this morning, I said, you know what? I said I need her to do this because this is her quote.
Yeah.
This is her phrase. This is what Heal and Rebuild, Unbreakable Spirit Incorporated. Let's make sure we put that incorporated on there. Is all about.
Incorporated. We are a
Incorporated.
501c3 nonprofit organization. This is no jack leg thing right here. We are doing this. We are legal with the IRS.
Wait. Did you say jack leg? Did you say? You know what?
I want you to know when you come here, we're going to do our best to
And it's
help
not jack
you.
leg. It's
We
not
are
jack
not.
leg.
I
Remember
did I
that.
tell my age by saying that? Do people don't say that anymore, do they? Jack leg, right? But I just really want to tell your audience. I just want to say thank you so much for even having me today. And I want to tell your audience something that I love quotes. And so this is really I should have started off with this, but never quit. If you stumble, get back up. What happened yesterday no longer matters. Today is another day. So get back on track and move closer to your dreams and your goals. You can do it. I just want to leave you guys with that.
Mm. Mm, mm, mm. So in this wrap up, I want you to go ahead because I got something I want to say to you specific, but can you give all the listeners the website, email, how they can get in touch with you, social media, all the like, so they know where to
Ooh.
find Lady Michelle?
Okay. So our website is www.healandrebuild.com, and that's all one word. We'll make sure that we also put it in the I don't know, you can put it in the chat or
Yeah, we'll put it
something.
out
We'll
there.
make sure you have it. But healandrebuild.com, that is where you can find. Also, you can go into our store, which is on the website. You can find this awesome magazine. Remember all remember that the proceeds from this magazine go to help women of domestic abuse, and we will be adopting a family this Christmas, for this Christmas, and so proceeds from this magazine go to help that. You can find me and follow me on social media, Michelle Jones hyphen Austin. Austin. Um, Stay in touch with me on social media. You'll find out all the different things that we're doing. And on Instagram, we are Heal and Rebuild on our Instagram page. So yeah, those are all the places you can find me. Yeah, I think that's
So
that's everything.
it's a lot of places, but we'll make sure that
That's a
anybody
lot
that
of
needs
places
help.
because I'm around. I am around.
Well, you're international. Let's just be honest about it. You're
We are
international. You're
international.
international,
Yes, that's
and that's a
right.
good thing. So before we go, I want to leave you with this because I was doing some reading, and I've known you for a while now.
Yeah.
And through the OT Show Network, but we've grown to be family.
Hmm.
And I've seen you grow in what you're doing. You know, from when we first started, our first time meeting and everything, the shyness has gone away. You always talk about that, but I remember our conversation the first time we met, and when you came up with the from survivor to thriver, and
Hmm.
all the things that were included in that. I said
Yeah,
because when we got to talking, just being a survivor, you survive every day.
every day.
But now, once you learn how to survive, now you got to learn how to thrive.
Yeah.
And we talked about that, but I found this quote, and it fits how I see you. And I wanted to read this to you, and you've probably heard it before. You probably heard it before. I'm not sure, but here's what it says. My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style. And that's by Maya Angelou.
Absolutely.
And when I seen this, it is the epitome of who you are, Lady Michelle. And I tell you, keep doing what you're doing. Keep helping those that need help. And the other thing is keep smiling, keep laughing, and keep doing it with style. Because the thing is, and I don't like to use the word, but it fits. When you look at the magazine, you are quote unquote the poster child for what it means and truly means to be able to come through what you've been through and
Hmm.
come out on the other side still smiling. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. God bless you. And I appreciate everybody for tuning in today to the show. Hopefully, no, I'm not going to say hopefully, I'm sure there's somebody out there heard this message that you had today that needed that little oomph to know that they're worthy, they can keep pushing, and it's not about just surviving, it's about thriving and moving to the next level. So I appreciate you, Lady Michelle. You gave out all your information, and hey, keep doing what you do, and we'll
Thank
we'll
you.
keep we'll keep interacting and doing things and moving forward. And anything to speak on the show can do for you as well as myself. But anything we
Thank
can do to help your organization grow and get people out there, just let us know. We're family, and I
thank
appreciate you for coming on today.
you.
I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And as I always say before I sign off, love yourself, love one another, keep your head up, and most definitely, most definitely, most definitely, keep your faith in God. I'll see you on the radio at the same time next week with another guest. Want to speak on this show. I appreciate you, Lady Michelle. I appreciate you one more time. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I love y'all. Peace. We're out.
Bye.